Hello, everybody. Welcome to Power Bites with Purva. Today's guest we have is very, very special and unique in terms of you will find many handful of people where in an industry or any businesses where they are empowering others to sustain, empowering others to build the foundation, and so many other ways. She is none other, blah, blah, blah. She is none other than Yaztka Allen. Thank you so much for being on the show, giving us your time and all the knowledge that you're going to share today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm truly honored to be able to share my insight in the podcast today.
Thank you. So, Yaztka, can you please tell our viewers a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Again, I'm Yaztka Allen. I am the owner of Realty One Group New Heights in Ashburn, Virginia. I have been in real estate now almost 21 years.
Ooh.
Yeah, here this summer. Some would call me an OG in the game. So I truly love what I do. And now where I am in real estate and really helping agents get to the next level. Right? So ultimately, I'm a mom. I have 2 boys. They absolutely keep me busy as well. And just a native of Washington, D.C. here in Virginia. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
21 years. The March is telling me something. I'll tell you that. You are the 3rd guest for the March this month. And all 3 guests been doing. One was bred by Blanca. She's been doing this business since last 20 years. I had another guest who's been in the industry for 21 years. And you mentioned you are in the industry for 21 years.
Yeah.
What was the journey like? When
Long.
you look back.
Yeah, definitely long. You know, I've had my trials and tribulations. I started off first as an investor, buying, holding, and flipping. And that's still a passion of mine. Have been investing in the Metro DC area for quite some time and also in other parts of the country. So that is also a true passion of mine. I got into residential, a little bit of commercial, built out a real estate team. We went all the way down into Virginia Beach, and now owner of Realty One Group. So it has truly been an evolution of that.
Sure.
And I've gained lots of insights. I've made lots of mistakes. Not going to act like I didn't. Made tons of mistakes, but now in a space where I'm able to, again, empower agents to really treat their businesses like a business.
You know, one thing, I have to share this, and I was reading a book. In that book, it mentioned that if somebody come across to you and made an impact in your life, whatever in a smaller, bigger impact, whatever that is, make sure that person knows. So I want to share this with you today. I don't know if you remember this, but the very first time we met at Vesta Settlement annual poker night event, and you were there in the room, Keith Barrett introduced me to you. When I saw you, you entered in a room with that confidence. The aura that you had was so positive that I just felt like, oh my God, I want to be like her. The confidence, the positive, the impact that you entered in a room with. That was something so empowering to me. How did that journey give you the confidence, the mindset? As you mentioned, like, we've all made those mistakes, right? We've all evolved, and if you don't evolve, you have not learned anything in the business, right? How is that journey? What is when you look back and when you look at yourself when you entered versus today, what is that one failure that has empowered you or changed your trajectory where you felt like sometimes, you are feeling very thankful that, oh, this happened. In that moment, you might feel like just crashing, but then you look back and like, oh, this is the moment where I felt like, okay, thank God this happened.
Sure. First, thank you. That was very kind of you to say. I do want to say that I always try to leave people better than maybe what I came into the space with, and try to treat people with a level of respect, because in this particular industry, we're dealing with so much at any given time, right? Sometimes we're therapists, we are brothers, sisters, we are doing so much for our clients, so we already have a lot on our plates at a time,
I agree.
right?
I agree.
So I think it's important for me that throughout the years that I've been in real estate, I've had lots of different situations that have molded me to where I'm at. And now is a time for me to really reach my hand back and help those agents that are now either starting, struggling with their businesses, or just really not sure where to go next. So you never know who might be in that space. So I think it's important to treat people with kindness. So that's first and foremost. I think for me, I've had several different situations that have gotten me here. One in particular, when I first started real estate, I was dual career.
Really?
And I wasn't quite sure how to get into the business the right way. And at that time, we didn't really have team structures. And all of the tools that we have now, we didn't have that back then. So you were really lost. You really weren't sure how to go about your business.
Right.
And I do remember that there were times that I was looking for that support within the brokerages that I've been at, and I just didn't receive it. Whether that was a team leader who was just part of that brokerage, whether that was someone that was high producing, that just wouldn't give me the time of day.
Yeah.
And I think that now, I think that gives me the drive to really help agents, to coach them, help them in a space where they're able to build a business that actually lasts. Oh, wow. So on top of that, there's failures that you're going to have. And it's really about your mindset every day. And I think that I wake up with a mindset of positivity. I wake up with a mindset of being grateful. And I wake up with a positive mindset to be able to take on that day, no matter what life is thrown at me. And yes, I'm going to have hard days too. But I think that if you're really focused on why you're doing what you're doing, ultimately that's going to set the tone for the rest of your time.
That's very, very, very true, because we all are going through something, and mindset is something very, very important to, not just as a business, but as a human being. Also, I feel it's very important for you to have that.
Yeah.
Is there anything specific that you do that you can share where to stay on the right side of the brain and be more positive and just get on with the day?
So, whether it's on my team structure or whether you're with us at Realty One Group, I do try to advise people to get on some type of schedule, right?
Okay.
Some of us are great at it, some of us are not, right? I find that if you're a high producing agent, you have a routine and you have a schedule, right? We're not treating it what I call realtor time. You just kind of get up at 10 o'clock, you kind of leisurely have your coffee, you're going to go on social media for a while, and then you look up and it's 12 and 1 o'clock and you're just starting your day. Right? So I do think it's important to have some form of a routine that you're not only taking care of your business, but also your mindset prior to starting for your day. For me, it starts the day before. So I'm really setting my intentions the day before. I'm getting prepared, maybe a day or two before, just to make sure that I'm staying on track and I'm not rushed. I'm not feeling like I'm burning two ends at a time, right? Now, there are going to be things that come up, but I think for me, I'm very solution focused. So I don't tend to stay in what the issue is. We're going to find a solution for it.
If we are here, let's just find a solution.
Yeah,
let's move
how
on
do we
with
solve
it.
this? So that tends to be my focus. With the fact that I've been in real estate for a really long time, not everything's an emergency, We tend to think like, oh my God, everything's an emergency. I've got to get it done right now. And I just have learned over time that if you're calm and you're focused on the solution, any problem can be solved.
That is very true.
Yeah.
When you mentioned where you said you were dual career for was it a longer period? How did transition happen? Was that a conscious decision for you to be like, oh, you know what? And now I want to switch this to full time, or was that just happen very naturally?
It actually did not happen naturally. I actually lost my job. And I was doing very well. There was no signs that I was going to lose my job. And I did. And at the time, I thought my world was crashing down. And looking back on that, I've had more than one situation where I've been propelled to make decisions, maybe when I've been fearful of doing it. So that was one of the best things that could ever have happened to me. It propelled me into my real estate career 100%. And now I have that time to think for that. I had another situation where I was actually on a real estate team, one of the highest producing teams here in the area. And I was having some of the best years of my career on the team. And at a time where I was already a business owner prior to, had already owned businesses before starting my real estate team.
Really?
And I decided, you know what, I'm going to leave the team. And it was scary. And when you're used to being fed leads, you're used to not having to do much but just show up at an appointment, you get really comfortable in that space. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to start my own team. And that was about 8 years ago. And it was the best, another greatest decision of my life. No matter how fearful I was to make the jump, it was good for me.
Really? That's amazing that you shared, because there was one of the entrepreneurs interview I was listening, and she mentioned that if you're too comfortable, that means you're not growing.
Yeah.
You have to push yourself to get into the room where you are uncomfortable, because that's when your creativity will flow, and that's where you will learn something. You will grow in that situation. I started real estate I was in IT before. I was a project manager. I had a very comfortable IT job where I was doing 9 to 5 and everything. I was just tired of it.
Okay.
I was just felt that I'm not growing. I felt it was same story every single day and night, and I'm done with it. I need to do something different. My husband actually, he pushed me for real estate. He said, why don't you do this? You'll be amazing at this. Just go try it. Just try it. Yeah. And it's been now 8 years, and I love every bit of it.
I love that.
Everything about real estate. Good. Yes, there are days where, we all feel like, why am I doing this?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But it's been, I agree with you where you said that you need to put yourself in uncomfortable situation where you need to grow, right? You mentioned that you were a business owner before also doing real estate.
Yeah.
Was there a specific mindset that you had to change for real estate when you started your own team, own brokerage, and everything about that?
I'm really lucky. I come from a foundation where my mom was an entrepreneur. So I really saw that work ethic really early on. I think that as I got into the workforce, my first business was at 18, not successful at all, but I understood that entrepreneur mindset. And then as I got into real estate, it really wasn't a difference in mindset. If you've ever sat down with me, if you're an agent at my office, you understand that I believe in really structuring a business. I believe that we're structuring a business like any other business, and that you've put a foundation down. There's lots of things that you're able to do with your business. So whether that means that you want to build out a team, whether that means that you want to grow and have legacy and maybe sell your business later on for real estate, there's lots of different options that I think people aren't aware of. So ultimately, no, I think that business is business across the board. We're just servicing maybe a product, or we're servicing a client. But all businesses are looking for the same thing. They're looking for clients to come in. So whether that's a restaurant, or whether it's a laundromat, whether it's real estate, the foundation of business is pretty much the same. So I don't think it's a mindset that I've had to ever shift. There's evolutions to that, but the foundation's the same.
Foundation is the same. For me, it was a little bit different, because for me, it was not my parents' side, not me, nobody's entrepreneur in my family.
Okay.
I'm kind of the first one to set the base and do for it. So you can just imagine how many falls I had and learned, and there were lots of shifts that I had to go through. And it was a difficult one, I'll say that.
Yeah.
But I've learned and evolved a lot of things that I'm here. Having said that, how do you know when an agent come to you that, hey, I'm struggling, I don't know what to do next? And if agent is coming to you, what do you first see? Like, how do you determine where do they need help?
Yeah. So what I do is I believe in really listening and asking questions to really uncover what the actual problem is, right? And what I do with agents is I help them when they come in to essentially create a plan that is long lasting, that we can have a level of accountability to. So agents are coming in and I'm building out essentially a business plan for them that is really geared and structured towards them.
Right.
Okay? And once we create that plan together, I'm not just leaving you to the wind. I'm going to sit down with you. I'm going to support you. We're going to create a plan together that you can follow. That way we can really take your business to the next level. And not every agent wants to be a top producer. Some
Right.
agents are just looking for a level of structure and support that they may not be receiving. So it could be geared differently depending on what that agent needs at that time and how they want to evolve in their business.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's more of a conversation aspect where you talk to them and try and figure out where do they need help.
Yeah,
and
because
how.
not every agent is the same. They may have
Very
different things
true.
that they may be looking at. So maybe there is a career dual agent. Maybe there's an agent that has retired from a particular job and is coming in to build another business. Maybe it's a mom with 3 kids that is doing this on the side. I mean, not one shoe fits all.
That's
So I'm here to really empower that agent to build a business that they are excited about. You know, because you might like social media, but this person may like open houses. So you're not going to be successful at doing something that you're not excited about.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. And it's, as you mentioned, that, not one solution fits all.
Yeah.
Right? It's everybody is different and everybody needs to do business differently.
Yeah, that's why there's 100 brokerages out here,
I
right?
agree.
Because there's a brokerage for everyone, and where you start may not be where you
Very
finish,
true.
and what you need at this time in your career may be different. So that's another reason why I think, well, personally, I think Realty One Group is the best place to be, because it's not one size fits all, and you have the flexibility.
Right.
Yeah.
Was that like, you mentioned that through your experiences, you came up with the solution to empower the agent
Yeah.
and how you want to cater to them.
Yeah.
Has that evolved, and how? I'm sure it has evolved later in these 8 years that you mentioned. What is something that you discover, because our industry is changing each and every week, I can say now. Every
Yeah.
day there is a news that's coming up and we have different things coming.
Yeah.
Now that AI in the picture and lots of things has changed, right? How that trajectory, how that has changed you coaching the agent, and how that has, I'm sure it has more given you power, and how that has happened.
I think that over time, I have learned that learning consistently is key. Being in a mindset where you don't know everything,
Yeah.
being in a mindset of wanting to learn and be better, I think ultimately helps me to empower my agents in a much more productive way. My goal is to stay on top of all of the things that may be changing so that I can then help the agent get to that next step. So just yesterday, I went to the conference at NAREP, and thousands of agents from all over the country. So putting myself in positions where I'm able to learn more about not just what's happening here, but what's happening on a national scale and global scale. So, we talked a lot about AI, and not just from a 101 AI. Everyone at this point has some level of chat GPT that they're using, and are maybe using that as a therapist, maybe they're using it to write a script for them. But it's really about how do we create a business that has a foundation where AI is implemented in your business so you're able to essentially make money when you sleep. How does that happen for you? Are you building systems and tools out revolving around AI that are really making you seem like the expert in your particular area in your marketplace? And how is it making you stand out when you're speaking in front of your buyers or sellers? So my goal is to stay on top of those things so I can then help that agent within their own business.
Right. And have you seen agents has built in their system, and that has helped them more than before traditionally that has done?
I think it's for the agents that want to, right? If they have the mindset of, hey, this is something that could work for me, and let me start looking into how I can implement this into my business, whether it's from a CRM standpoint, whether it's from a verbiage and prompt standpoint, whether it's having a system and put in place when you're in open houses, and how does that revolve back into your business? So I think first it starts with wanting to learn more about it, right? Some agents may not like social media, right? That may not be something that is for them, but maybe the tech side could be. So I think having that mindset where you want to learn more about it and reach out to get those tools that may not be offered within your brokerage that will help to create that evergreen system.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And you mentioned not everybody's open to use it, not everybody wants to do it.
Yeah.
There was a book that I was reading which says that agents needs to start empowering, utilizing
Yeah.
all the different tools.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there will be no brand to recognize for them, right? How do you think that is impacting your agents because you have upper hand a little bit what agents can't see, you can see what's happening in the market, what's happening around in real estate industry. Do you see that impacting? Because there was Keith's did this brand. There's this class that he did on a brand. I think you were there.
Yeah.
He mentioned that you want to do more. You want to make people around you more aware of your branding before you reach to the social media part of it. Not everybody needs to be on the social media.
Right.
There is other part of things where I heard that you need other people to be aware that I'm Purva Thakur and I am in real estate business and this is the location that I'm serving. If people don't know me on social media or just as an AI tool or somewhere, people are not going to come to me and do it. How do you recommend balancing both? Because I agree with the both point. I want to know what's your opinion on it and how do you balance it both?
So I call it the secret agent. So if people don't know that you're a real estate agent because you might feel like you want to be private about that, depends that you might be in a space where you don't want to talk about what you do, totally understandable. However, a secret agent doesn't build a business, doesn't build a brand. And it's about putting yourself in position to create a brand that is long lasting. And whether that means that you're into social media or you're into PTA, right? It's about creating a brand that someone can pinpoint when they think about real estate, they think about you. And there's many ways to do that. Maybe you're sponsoring your PTA, sports teams.
Right.
Maybe that means that you're creating events within your community. Maybe that means that you're supporting nonprofits and community efforts. There's lots of ways of go about doing it. It doesn't mean that one way works. One way works may work for you, may not work for me. So I think figuring out what works for you and creating that niche within your branding is what makes you successful. People can absolutely feel when it's authentic. They can feel when you're just not comfortable and not wanting to do that. So finding what that niche is for you and creating that space to build that brand is how you would essentially balance that.
Yeah, and I agree with that. People sense the authenticity that you bring on the table, right? If I'm doing something completely out of the box, and you will not feel that I'm being genuine, and people sense that.
Of course,
all the people have, like, if somebody comes to me and trying to sell something, I'll be like, okay, let's take a step back. I know what you're doing, and we just have that sense, right?
Yeah.
So I completely agree with you on that. That just finding a right balance is very, very important on that one. Let me circle back a little bit when you mentioned that you have 2 kids, right? How do you balance the family time and the business time? And this is a very personal question to me. I have 2 boys, and it's a struggle.
Yeah.
It's a struggle for me that, like, I feel like I'm always bouncing from one thing to another to the third one. So how do you balance that out?
So there isn't a one answer, no magic pill that I'm going to give you
to
be able to say, hey, you're going to have the most amazing balance. I have 2 boys as well. They are 12 and 8, and they're very busy with sports and school. And it's funny, I'll have friends call me all the time and say, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, you know what I'm doing. I'm at basketball, But I do think that creating systems and tools in your business that are working when you're not working is very important. The agents that are not planning ahead, are not using those tools and systems, will forever be taking phone calls during dinner time, during sports time, during any moment where you feel like you want to turn that business side off. So if you're not feeling somewhat of balance, it's because you don't have the foundation put in place.
That's interesting. I agree with that, but at the same time, I was talking to one of the realtors. He's experienced 25 years
Yeah.
or more in the business, and he mentioned that the same thing, you have to find a balance and you have to make sure when you are in the putting the calendar, put the family first. But then when I ask him that, okay, what about the new realtors that are coming into the picture, they're just starting out, would you recommend doing the same thing for them? And he mentioned no, they have to churn, they have to prove themselves. So would you say the same thing for the newer agent who are coming into the business and there is a foundation where they have an option to do so, where they are not working but they have a system in place where the system's working?
Yeah.
Do you recommend the same thing for the newer people?
I think I can understand the perspective of the other agent that you were speaking about. There is a sense of time with this business that you're not going to see a lot of that turnaround in referrals if your business is based on SOI to about 5 to 7 years. So there is a bit of time of grind and hustle time.
Right.
However, I believe whether you're a new agent or a seasoned agent, if you're building the foundations and the tools and systems of your business from the very beginning, you're going to be successful probably a little bit more than that agent that's seasoned. Maybe has those bad habits already put into place. So I believe in building right from the first time that you're starting out. So I don't believe that you have to work harder. You need to work smarter. And I've gained that over time because I was definitely hustling and turning and maybe not putting myself first or my family first. And what I realized is because my foundations were not set. So I don't think you have to work harder just because you're a new agent.
That's very interesting because not a lot of people say that when you're starting. They have set up the perspective. When I say that, it's a common notion, not just in real estate industry, all across the business industry, where you are starting new, you just have to hustle. Forget about the family, forget about the personal time, forget about this, and just go, 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 go.
Yeah.
But you were saying there's a way where you can build the foundation in a certain way where you can have a little bit of family time and business time, of course. And I understand where it is important to, in a starting business, any business, where you have to dig deep and just to create that foundation will take time. It's not going to be easy for sure.
Yeah.
But there is an option to have that. Not everybody just go, 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 go all the time. When you said, if somebody's listening this one who has a dual career, who are working full-time right now and doing real estate part-time, what advice would you give it to them?
I think this advice could really go for any agent. I find a lot of times that agents are afraid to leverage. They're afraid of letting go what they find to be important to them, and they're not getting further in their career because they want to control it all. And we wear so many hats. We wear marketing hats. We wear, director hats. We wear signs, putting out signs, and managing a transaction. The reality of it is our brains don't work that way. We're not going to be good at every single hat. So I have realized what I'm really great at and what I need maybe some opportunities at. And I leverage that. So if you're a dual career or you're an agent that is seasoned or just starting out, understanding what you're really great at and focusing on that is what's important. The other things that you're not so great at, leverage that. Hire someone. Put it into your budget of actually doing real estate as a business so you can actually get further, save some of your time. Maybe that's for family, maybe that's for yourself, and then getting further faster.
Right. I want to put it out there. Not a lot of people know this, and you mentioned it. When you are doing a business, when you are doing any business, forget about real estate. Let's put a real estate aside for right now. Any business, you have a capital that you put as a budget on the side. Where, okay, I'm starting out a restaurant, for example. I need this much capital. I need to put this money here, this money here, this money here. You have a whole budget. You have a whole plan.
Yeah.
A lot of people who come in the industry, in the real estate industry, they don't realize that you have to do this as a business. And they are always like, oh my God, how can I put more money down? I haven't earned anything. but you have to treat this as a business.
Correct.
You have to enter with the open mindset that, okay, what is my plan? How am I doing this? And it's very interesting that you mentioned, because not a lot of people even openly say it out loud and discuss that with other agents, that you are looking at it wrong. You need to have the base start from here.
Yeah.
How do you, I'm sure you were come acrossing with a lot of agents, right? Where they're like, I don't know where to start.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know what to do. How do you handle that? How do you
So
take
every
care of
agent that comes into Realty One Group New Heights, we talked about that plan that we're sitting down. So we're actually building out a structure of your business first. So if you come into Realty One Group and you don't have that structure, I help you to create the business structure. Most agents are moving transaction to transaction, almost like paycheck to paycheck, right? So with creating that structure, it's already setting you up for success. So the classes that I have at Realty One Group are actually open to all agents. We've had classes where, of course, we business plan, but we business plan from a different perspective. So not just real estate and motivating you for the next year, but really I bring in a tax professional that is actually designed his business to work with real estate agent business owners. So that way you can understand how to structure your business from a tax perspective. We're actually entering tax season, right?
Yeah.
So I hear agents calling me, of course, complaining that things aren't structured the right way.
Yeah.
So that's one of the first things that I do with agents in structuring their business. The other thing is understanding that it is a business and there's resources for you. Right? I just had my class on building business credit. Most agents don't understand that because they're structured correctly, I can now take you to the next step of establishing that business credit to actually help you leverage your business, right? Maybe hire, maybe that's marketing hire, maybe that's building out a team, and maybe that's social media. There's so many different ways to be able to use that, where you're not using your personal assets and personal credit, right? So ultimately, when agents are coming into the brokerage, we're really helping change the mindset of what they might be used to. And my goal is always to empower an agent to treat their business like an actual business. Because once we do that, I can then take you to another level within your business. Whether you're a solo agent when you want to build out a team and you're not sure where to start, or whether you're a seasoned agent and you're looking at retiring. We want to make sure that you're able to have a legacy in that business. Maybe even help you sell that business, right? I see so many agents leave after 20, 30 years in the business and walk away from a whole book of business, right? There's so many options to agents that they're just not sure about how to attain because their brokerages are not setting them up for success, right? They're keeping them where their wheels are constantly turning as a worker. You didn't get into this business to be a worker. You came into this business to gain freedom, right? And I am big on setting that mindset with our agents.
It's amazing that you mentioned this. I have a client, and it's funny how I got this client is because that client, I got it through a referral because their original realtor unfortunately passed away, and their son took over the business.
Yeah.
But he's not into the real estate that much, so he doesn't pay attention to client. And this realtor who passed away had a big book of business. Like he's been into industry for what, 30, 40 years?
Wow.
And he had this big book of business and the son is not taking over. And I was like, just give me it. Just give me that book of business. And oh my God. So it's so important. Not a lot of people are aware of what you're saying, where what to do if you're done, if you're retiring from the business, what to do. You can still earn from that book of business that you have created.
Yeah.
And it's important for a lot of people to know that. And there's a saying in our world where, have you seen realtor retiring? Never.
Yeah.
Either you just unfortunately passed away in the business, and that's like you work till you die.
Yeah.
And that's not, it doesn't have to be that way.
It doesn't.
Right? Let me ask you this. The way our industry has been changing very rapidly.
Yeah.
What something that you wish stayed when you started it 21 years ago? You wish that something should have stayed, and something that you are happy that it's not today's world?
Because our industry changes so often, lots of times general public might assume that real estate's really easy. So you have realtors that now get their real estate license and believe that you can kind of hop into this world and it will be really lucrative for you.
It's gonna be amazing.
Right? It's going to be so easy and so lucrative. I think that ultimately when I first started, there was a real estate 101 and you passed your test, but there was still some decorum and some standards that you ran your business by.
Right.
And I think that at times we're moving very fast and we often forget that a realtor on the other side is not someone that we're necessarily competing with. It's someone that we're actually collaborating with. And if you come from a mindset of collaboration and come from a mindset of care, our industry as a whole within our business and our industry will be better because we're treating each other with a level of respect that you would treat anyone else with. So there's amazing agents in our industry. And I think ultimately it's for us to continue to keep our industry at a high standard.
That's right.
Yeah.
And what is something you are happy that it's not in the industry anymore? Maybe a norm, maybe rules, something that you feel that, whew, we're done with that.
Gosh, I don't know that there's anything quite specific. I like the fact that our industry changes. It keeps me on my toes. It's one reason I'm not at a desk job every day. So I like the fact that there's change. A lot of times agents get afraid about change. They get afraid about commission structures changing, get afraid about something changing within our contracts. Ultimately, again, I'm solution-based. So we train our agents on how to handle those adversities. How are you ready with your scripting that when you're prepared for those conversations that somewhat could be hard for another agent, you put yourself in a position of power. Right? And that means that you're empowering the client. So I happen to like the change. I evolve with the change. If agents don't, they're going to get left behind.
I agree. And it's something changed right across. Like you have to be okay with it.
Yeah.
You have to embrace it. You have to be like, let's get on with our day kind of a thing, because our every client is different, our every day is different, our every situation is different. And that's how the businesses are.
Yeah.
What is something when you are looking at the future for the agents, for your team, when you're looking at the future, what is something that you are empowering them with or telling them that, you know what, you need to be ready, this is coming, you got to be ready with this one, you need to be okay with this one? What is that one thing that you say people need to be ready?
Ultimately, because our business does change so much, it's building a business that is long-standing. Okay? I think that AI, whether you like it or not, it's here.
It's here.
And there's so many ways right now to utilize that in your business. And we have companies that are coming in that are online companies that are ready to help sellers sell their home without them having to do no work. And because there's companies that are online companies, right? And I'm not going to name them, but there's lots more competition now than just your agent that lives in your neighborhood. So being aware and offering more value to your clients in every which way is going to make a big difference on whether you're an agent that has a business for 2 years or 30 years.
30 years. What is something that you feel somebody is coming to you? How do you feel? What is the skill that need to develop when you say you need to add value? What is that one skill set you can recommend them to work on? Is it the communication? Is it the marketing? Is it the understanding the market? What is that one skill set they need to develop?
It's not just one, and that's because we wear so many hats. So I think the things that you can leverage out in your business, whether that's a transaction coordinator, whether that's some level of your marketing, that you're able to leverage and run that on an evergreen process, that's great. But as far as your branding, as far as who you are, as far as what you're giving to the public and keeping educated, most people, when they ask the question, you're at the supermarket or the coffee line, oh, well, how's the market? They know that you're a real estate agent. A lot of agents are going to be like, oh, it's okay, it's doing okay. That's not what someone's looking for. Someone's looking for actual statistics that you know your marketplace. So understanding the market and on a deeper foundation is important, so you can speak to that and actually be an expert in your community. Also, staying on top of what may be coming that's new. seeing what your competition is, seeing what they show of as value, and seeing is that something that I can implement or no, that's not working for me. Having a structured business will put you in a position that you're always going to be winning. No matter the market. There's opportunity in any market that we may be in. So if it's a down market, maybe you're working with investors. If it's an up market, maybe you're working with a seller. Maybe you're focused on divorces. Maybe you're focused on investors. There's so many different niches here in real estate that you can be successful in any market. So there's not just one thing that I can tell someone, hey, this is what you must do. It really is individualized to that agent and what they feel is important to them.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it's evolving, keep on changing, right? All right. We are at the stretch of it.
Okay.
Tell us something that you would like somebody who's watching this, how can they find you, where they can reach you, and what is some advice that you would like to give it to them?
Yeah. I'm owner of Realty One Group New Heights. You can find me usually on social media, so Facebook, I'm pretty heavy there, Instagram. Ultimately, what I want agents to walk away with knowing is that you can do this. You can be successful. I had very humble beginnings. I did it. Anyone can do it, whether that means you're starting out, whether it is that you are a team leader, and be confident in yourself and your abilities. Find the resources and the people. Surround yourself with people that want to see you grow, want what's best for you, have an evolving mindset, and are able to hold you accountable.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That was some very powerful ending right there.
Thank you.
I really, really appreciate your time. And thank you so much for coming here today and saying yes to this. I am very honored and grateful to share this 1 hour with you and talking to you.
Thank you so much.
Everybody out there, thank you so much for joining us. Today was very, very, very impactful for me. You know what I got today? Mindset. I have interviewed so many people by far, and across the table I have learned that mindset is very first thing that you need to work on. If you are waking up saying that I can do this, you can figure out what to do with this. And as she said, leverage people around you. Try and understand. You don't have to figure it out all alone. You have people around you. Ask for help. That's okay. You can reach out. Maybe you are struggling because you are not in the right group of people around you. Figure out what is right for you. And it's okay to not knowing right now. So reach out to us, reach out to her. She is one of the person that I know that I can reach out and say that I am struggling. I don't know what to do. Can you help me?
Yeah.
And she's there to help. So reach out to us, reach out to her, and thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you next time.